This is the Rangers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Texas Rangers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, there was no way the Rangers could get swept in Chicago by the lowly White Sox, right? Could they? Well, it was looking that way until the Rangers rallied for 3 runs, huge runs in the top of the ninth to beat the White Sox 5-4, avoiding the broom and salvaging the finale of this road trip. What a game, what a finish, and what a much-needed win for the Rangers. Here we go. Welcome into the Rangers POSTCAST, your team every day. In our case, your team every game. My name is Jeff Biggs, longtime host and reporter. Thank you for watching Locked On Sports Rangers, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Rangers podcast feed. That is where you'll find the great work of Bryce Patrick every single day. I know Bryce is going to have a lot to say about this weekend and everything going on off the field with the team. And again, a big homestand coming up. But at least the Rangers will have a much better flight heading back here to Texas from Chicago after rallying. A rare rally for the Rangers, but hey, no doubt about it, we will take it. They take down the White Sox late by the final of 5-4.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, well, I mean, there's all kinds of things going on. I thought Patrick Corbin, again, with the team scuffling the way that it is right now, right? I mean, the guy gives up 2 runs, and it feels like he gave up 8, right? But he pitched really well. He kind of ran out of gas, but I thought he did a really good job of using his slider, which is kind of his go-to pitch, of getting swings and misses and getting outs when he needed to. So that was big. We're also going to talk about the debut of Alejandro Osuna. And we, after yesterday's game, you were kind of hoping that, it wasn't too bad with Jock Peterson. Found out last night that he broke his hand, fractured hand on the right hand. And so he's going to be out probably until after the All-Star break, realistically, if not long. Well, that'll be it. Bummer for him, but you know what? Maybe just kind of taking a break and exhaling a little bit. Maybe just kind of watching a little bit. Maybe he'll be able to come back after the injury and maybe be kind of like an addition, like we're talking about with Corey Seager and his return. And by the way, the Rangers right now have an open spot. And when Bruce Bochy was asked about it before the game, kind of, if I'm reading correctly, kind of sounded to me that maybe Seager will be back sooner rather than later, like maybe tomorrow. So we'll see. Maybe I read that wrong, but we'll see. We'll find out. So that's what's going on there. But clearly, this game today was all about the rally in the ninth.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Well, first of all, I want to give credit for the Rangers for, again, trying to set the tone. Tough 10-5 loss last night. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead with 2 runs in the second inning. I mean, that's good. You want to see that. Josh Young got a leadoff walk against his former collegiate Texas Tech teammate Davis Martin. And then Jake Berger, the former White Sox, with a 2-run bomb to left. And I thought after that, Alejandro Osuna making his major league debut and in his first big league at bat, did a really nice job drawing that walk on a full count on a very, very close pitch. Props to him. Again, Alejandro Osuna, the Rangers minor league player of the year last year. You've heard Bryce talk about him a lot. Considered to be the Rangers' best defensive outfielder. And I think a couple of things. I think, they just needed a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a jolt, hopefully some energy. They DFA'd Kevin Pillar. And I think also, Osuna gives them a left-handed bat as well, another left-handed bat that they need. And I thought he looked good, made a great catch. That catch looks easier than it is, but that was kind of in no man's land where that ball was going. And he did an excellent job of getting that and saving that play that would have scored a run. So props to him with that catch. That made it 2-0, and tough to see Patrick Corbin tag the way that he was. But hey, in the ninth inning, that's all that matters. 3-2, you're thinking, okay, how much worse can it get for this Rangers team? But hey, Josh Young again got it started, hit by a pitch. Jake Berger, again, the former White Sox, nice double in the corner. Second and third, nobody out, right? I mean, you've got to come through there. Tough to see Osuna strike out the way that he did, but it's all right. Higashioka, really hard infield single. That was just a bad play all the way around for the White Sox. But as Ranger fans, we're not gonna shed any tears for what they're going through right now. And then Adolis Garcia. Good to see him come through with a big hit, especially after what happened in the seventh when Higashioka had the leadoff walk, and then Adolis struck out and Semien grounded into a double play. So that was tough, but I thought Adolis made up for it. Big hit there. That was huge. Rangers needed it, had to get the win, had to salvage the finale. And you know what? As bad as the 6-game losing streak was, and as ugly and horrible as it felt, I mean, the reality is it didn't do a lot of damage, big picture, right? You've had the Mariners and Astros going at it all weekend long. The Angels had their streak snapped at home by the Marlins, and the A's at the moment have lost 11 in a row. So I'm saying, as bad as it was, they didn't, fall off a cliff. And like we talked about yesterday, I mean, you really hope that the real positive note or silver lining is that hopefully this will be the Rangers' worst baseball of the season, and they get all this out of their system now, and hopefully they'll really win a lot more games moving on. Well, hey, we'll see. Look, one win does not, I'm not saying everything is turned around or back to normal. I'm just trying to look at some of the positives of where they're at, and certainly rallying to get a win the way that they did today. One game, but it was much needed as the team heads home with a chance to hopefully, I mean, with the pitching that they have going up in the first 3 games against Toronto, right? DeGrom, Eovaldi, and Mahle at home. You like your chances against, not a great Blue Jays team, and then you got the Cardinals over the weekend. So we shall see. All right, we're going to take our lone time out. When we come back, want to hear from you via the comment crew. Thanks for being with me on this Sunday. Rangers rally to beat the White Sox 5-4. This is the Rangers POSTCAST. All right, well, as you know, the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There has never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Cool things you can do. which players are kind of stepping up in the big moments, and how tracking their trends could help you build your next bet. Or you can combine live prop bets mid-game based on how the action unfolds. So if you're new to FanDuel, right now is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, welcome back to the Rangers postcast. Rangers win today. The streak is over. The 6-game losing streak is over. They beat the White Sox by the final of 5-4. Let's hear from you via the comment crew. We're going to start things off with Noah Day. Long cup. That one's empty. Noah Day says, a pleasant surprise for a comeback win. Hopefully this lights a fire. Yeah. Could not agree with you more there, Noah. Paul Wilson says, agree with Noah. Could this be the spark? Finally, a come from behind bit of offense, no doubt. Well, I think without question, right? That kind of a rally and that kind of a win will definitely, take out some of the pressure for sure. 100%. No doubt about it. Isaac Perez says, glad to see a 9th inning rally. Hope this means something for them. Would hate to see them win two to 3 in a row and then drop another 5. Yep, no doubt. Old Passon says Osuna didn't look overwhelmed at all in his debut. I agree. I thought he looked great. I'm excited. I'm excited to see this kid play. I think he's going to get a good little run here. I think Evan Carter is still at least a week and a half away before his return. And so, we'll see, but I like it. And Texas Hobby Bin says your new Ranger shirt gave them the win. Good eye, Texas Hobby Bin. Yeah, I had to break this out without a doubt. Kind of casual today on a Sunday on the eve of Memorial Day. But yeah, let's hope so, right? But yeah, sometimes you think a team has kind of hit rock bottom and maybe they haven't, but then they finally just, maybe not when you're expecting it to be over, something happens and then all of a sudden they turn around. Again, it's like we've been talking about, still too early to make. You're not going to see major moves, major trades or anything like that happening yet. But, as we've seen around baseball, you're seeing a lot of guys get DFA'd. I mentioned this before. Look at the Dodgers. They got rid of Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes. They said, you know what? You guys are vets. You've helped this win, but, we think it's time to move on. And those are tough, difficult decisions, but sometimes they have to be made. So we'll see what happens next. Again, great pitching matchups, great opportunity. Hopefully with Osuna and coming back home and the return of Corey Seager on this road trip, on this homestand as well. Maybe some good things are coming up here. Good kind of a stretch here as we get into June. Hopefully the Rangers can kind of turn around, start winning some series, win some games, keep at it, and just avoid losing these series and avoid these losing streaks. Curious, I wish I could be in the clubhouse. I know Bruce is going to be asked about the bullpen, and we kind of speculated about, we weren't really sure what was going to happen with Luke Jackson and Bruce Bochy. You can tell Bruce is kind of of the mindset of, information will be given on a need-to-know basis. So Bruce doesn't need to make, a big formal announcement like, oh, by the way, we've demoted Luke Jackson. He just kind of changed things around. And my thought was, when I saw Luke come in the other day, my thought was, okay, what Bruce is doing here is he's trying to build Luke Jackson back up. He's trying to get him some wins within the game, wins with at bats, wins with, an out here, a couple outs there, to try to help him get his swagger and his confidence back. But as we saw, it seems like the pecking order has changed, and Garcia has been one of my favorite players. I think he's just been kind of his personal workload and his schedule has been all out of whack. So hopefully, they'll find a rhythm for him to help him get back to where he was. And then Sean Armstrong, I think, to his credit, that the one outing when he flamed out against the Astros, I think he was gassed, but I think he has good stuff. He has good command, good presence about him, and I could see him improving even more. And so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Really quickly, before I go, and I forgot to put this up there. I don't know why this is not up there. My bad. There we go. Where did it go? Okay. So just really quick, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'm with you guys, and I'm trying to let you guys know a little bit more about me as the season goes on. I'm not trying to TMI you or brag or anything like that. Just sharing little tidbits. So Chicago, New Comiskey is what I used to call it. Now it's called Rate Field. Well, that was the first stadium for me that I got to shag fly balls during early batting practice. And have to say, when I first started, it was pretty ugly. But you know what? As the season went on, I'm not going to brag, but I got pretty good. I could hold my own. I felt much more comfortable in left field than I did in right. Right was just the way the ball comes off is completely different. Just felt much more natural when I was in left. But that was a memory there. And in 1993, I got to cover the ALCS, and I know for a lot of you, this is before you were born or when you were really young. And the weird thing is, I don't feel like I'm that old, but it just time is undefeated, so I guess I am older. But I covered that series, the ALCS, and one of it was a night that I'll never forget. Game 1 of the ALCS, the White Sox and the Blue Jays. So we're in the press box and we're covering the game, and I'm sitting next to Buck Martinez, former manager, went on to broadcast different teams. I think he did TBS for a little while. He might be with the Blue Jays again. So we're sitting there, and again, you have to remember, 93. I mean, cell phones just came out. This is before social media, before anything, right? And we're sitting there covering the game, and all of a sudden, the word gets out that Michael Jordan is going to retire from the NBA, and he was there. And he was hanging with Pat O'Brien, and I think Pat's a friend of mine, and it just completely took over everything. And I remember after that game, which the Blue Jays won, interviewing all the White Sox players, and they were not only mad because they lost the opener, but all anybody wanted to talk about was Jordan, MJ. And that White Sox team was kind of they were kind of a surly, I'll use that word, group anyway. Frank Thomas, Robin Ventura. Remember Robin charged Nolan Ryan with the noogies. I mean, that wasn't really a fun group anyway. Jack McDowell, Ozzie was the manager. No, it wasn't Ozzie. It was Gene Lamont, I believe, was the manager then. I forget. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it was one of the wildest experiences, and we had no idea. I mean, Bulls had won the three-peat, and NBA season was about to start. It was in October, and no idea what was going on, or that he was going to end up retiring and playing baseball and then coming back, and just wild. So, seeing the series and watching and just looking at that I know exactly where I was sitting and looking at the outfield again. It was a lot of memories this weekend, and I'm really, really glad though that more importantly that the Rangers rallied, got the win today, and ended up winning to wrap up the road trip, avoid the broom, and head back home with a chance to hopefully get some things going here on this homestand. Hey, thank you for listening. I try to pick my spots when I do that, but thank you for allowing me to share that with you. Thanks for being with me today. We'll do it again tomorrow. I'll be with you after the opener with the Blue Jays. Looking forward to that. That's Jacob deGrom. All these guys are due for some wins after this road trip, so hopefully we'll see some fun tomorrow night with the homestand. Isaac, thank you for the words. I appreciate you too. But hey, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the day tomorrow, and we'll talk to you after the opener with the Blue Jays. The final though today, the Rangers rally. They beat the White Sox 5-4. This has been the Rangers POSTCAST.